Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Financial Parenting. Financial Parenting is the only conversation that practically shows you how to pass timeless money values and lessons to your next generation. Last week we had a very interesting conversation. We were talking about how to teach our children how money is made, how money is gotten, how money is attracted, because you cannot manage what you do not have. So before we begin to teach them how to manage money, it was important that we talk about how money happens. And thank you so much for your feedback. Thank you for your comments. It is so encouraging that you are finding this conversation very practical to your lives as parents, even as you seek to equip your children, to prepare them for the future, and to make sure that they turn out to be responsible and independent adults. Allow me to invite you to subscribe to this channel. If this is your first time, please like this video, share it, leave a comment, ask a question about any area that you would want us to talk about, and I'll be glad to look at it and respond to your questions. It is one thing to make money or to know how money is made, and it's another thing to manage that money that you have made in a way that will allow it to be able to help you achieve as many of your life objectives, as many of your life goals as possible. Therefore, it's important that we have to learn about how money is managed so that it can be able to do a lot for us. Someone who is conscious about how money is managed is able to allow their money to do more for them, unlike someone who simply spends because money is in their hands. Such a person very often runs into a deficit every other time. Their money gets depleted before the next income comes. So it becomes healthy that we master how we can manage our money so that it can do a lot for us. So when it comes to passing this information to our children, very quickly again we said that we pass this knowledge, these skills to our children through two ways. Number one, we said through role modeling, and this we said is the most effective because children do what we do more than what we say. Then number two, we said conversation, that we have to normalize talking about this. Sometimes you have to sit them down and tell them some of these things. So how do we then do this for managing money? Allow me to suggest the following tips that will be useful in your journey of equipping your children with timeless tips on how money is managed. Number one, talk to them about the need to have a spending plan. Talk to them about the importance of having a budget before you spend your money. Let them understand that it is important not to spend money blindly, not to spend money without a plan, because it becomes catastrophic. And many times when I am teaching about budgeting, I like saying that I fail to understand where we get the guts to think that we can use our money anyhow, because that money comes to us measured. Whether you are employed or in business, if you are employed, you do not receive income any day you want. You receive your income on a specific timing in every month, on a specific day of the month, not every day. You also do not receive any amount you wish. You receive a specific amount. Many times it's an amount that was pre-arranged, an amount that was pre-agreed upon. I don't know who gives us the guts to imagine that after we have received this which comes measured, that we can spend it unmeasured. It does not make sense. If you spend blindly, then you will run into a deficit. Your money gets depleted before the next one comes. If you spend without a plan, then your money runs out before you do things that perhaps were more important than even the ones that you have spent your money on. If you spend without a plan, it becomes difficult to even plan for the future because you end up using everything that you have, and that means you have got nothing left behind to take care of you in the event of emergencies. That means you have nothing that you can begin your investment journey with. So it is important that we talk about this. Number two, because talking alone is not enough, let them also witness you budgeting. Let them see you before you go for any shopping. Let them see you sitting down and planning and saying, we need to buy this, we need to buy this, we need to buy this, we need to buy this. And they see you making a budget before you go for shopping. It will go a long way into reinforcing to them the fact that a budget is not theoretical. A budget is something that you believe in, that you're not just telling them, but you believe in it and you actually do it. Number three, you may need to consider tagging your child along as you go for the actual shopping. Yes, tag your child along as you go for the actual shopping. I know this is where the rubber meets the road, because very many parents, especially those who have children that are still young, will feel a bit jittery. I know there are parents who have vowed they will not go with their children to any shop until they have grown, they are of a certain age, because many of them will be throwing tantrums in the supermarket. Many of them will want to pick those snacks whose prices are more than what you can afford or what you would want to spend. And so we don't know how to manage them, how to control them. Many times I see very many of us turning our faces and looking at them, and we are grinding our teeth, and we are sending a message. But now, unfortunately, the children of today do not pick the message of facial expressions like we used to pick from our mothers back in the day. Back in the day, our mothers would look at us and we would know if we had picked something or we are crying for something. We'd keep quiet because we know what that look means. But today, the children that we are raising do not understand the language of facial expressions at that particular age. And therefore, many parents begin to get a bit uncomfortable. Some of them find it a bit embarrassing that the child will be throwing tantrums in front of people. The child has picked probably what you don't have money for, and they are causing a scene in the supermarket and all that. How do we deal with this? I do not have the actual answer for your child, because we said again, every parent is here for their own child. You know your child better than every one of us, and therefore we said you find out ways that work for your specific child. So allow me to just share what I have shared elsewhere, what has worked for me in the past, and what I have seen other parents say it has worked for them. What you can do in this situation, again, it depends with the age of your child and their level of understanding. We agreed that different children begin to comprehend different things at different levels and in different ways. So what you can do, for example, if you have children of age 3 and above, you can begin to negotiate with them beforehand. Get to agree with them that we are going to the supermarket and I am going to buy you. It is good to consider getting them a snack. We know they are children. So you can in advance plan for a snack that falls within your budget, because they are children and they will definitely want. So you can try to arrange in advance. Before you get to enter the supermarket, you get to agree that we are getting into the supermarket and you have chance to pick one snack, or you have chance to pick 2 snacks, and this is the snack that you are going to pick. And therefore, if you see any other thing, then plan for it for the next shopping. But today we have agreed that you are going to pick this and this. If they have grown, they are of ages 7 and above, they have started understanding money in terms of amounts and denominations. You can also be able to tag a a figure to it, that you have access to snacks, but it will be snacks of up to this amount. Later on, as they advance in age, you begin to give them their own budgets. Let them decide what they want to do with their budget. So if you've given them a budget of 100 shillings, let them go and decide what they want to do. Yours is to observe how they are behaving around it. One of them will come out with very many snacks using the same 100 shillings. Another one will come out with just one snack using the same 100. Another one will even probably shoot the 100 you gave. If you gave them more than 100, as you're waiting for the balance to come, they may not come back with balance. And so you use that as an opportunity to also explain another lesson to them. You can also spell consequences of them not abiding by the agreement that you have struck. That in the event that someone goes against the agreed arrangement, then there would also be consequences. For example, you can spell that if you behave this way, then we will freeze snacks for the next X number of days. Or next time we will go shopping, there will be no snack if you go against what we have agreed. And so then you match there, and because they are children, depending on the ages, you keep reminding them that we are here, we will buy you, or I will buy you snacks, and we have agreed this, and this is your snack. Allow them to pick the snack by themselves so that they can own that particular decisions. And if they're able to see any other snack that they want, let them tell you and remind them that we agreed. If you see any other thing, then we will keep that for the next shopping. And then you can be able to plan for it. It may work for you, it may not work for you. I don't know. You know your own child. I'm just suggesting what I have seen work for me and also work for other parents. It may also not work for you on all your children. It may work on one or two and probably not the other. But you need to find out which method would work for you. Now, let me come back to the point. The point was that you can tag your child with you to the supermarket or wherever it is that you're going to buy items in the market and things like those. When you go with them, they get to see you actualizing the budget that you developed. They get to see how you make decisions while at the supermarket. They also get to understand the things that happen there. Their eyes get to be familiar with transactions. They see people doing things. It will interest you that some people have actually confessed that their drive for certain businesses was developed when they were young, and they went with their parent to certain businesses and they loved what they saw and the picture stuck with them. And as they grew, they started aspiring that one day they need to have businesses such as those ones. All right, so it has got very many benefits in the journey of financial parenting. Number 4, while you are at the supermarket, remember to verbalize your decisions. Speak it loud because you are with them. So let them know why you are choosing the items you are choosing. Because they will see variety. The same item might be coming from different companies. Let them understand why you prefer this one and not this one. So verbalize your decisions. For example, they may hear you say things like, I prefer this one because it is durable compared to the rest. I am picking this one because its price is reasonable. I am buying in bulk, or let us buy this in bulk because when you buy in bulk, you will be able to save this amount. When you buy it in singles, the price compared to the numbers we are buying now will be higher. So it makes sense for us to buy it in bulk. Verbalize. It begins to teach them decision making. When they are doing their shopping in future, they begin to remember that this is how decisions of expenditure are made. So it will also make it easier for you when you choose to talk about it. They have a picture to confirm what you are talking about. They have seen you do it practically. Number 5, speak to them about the finite nature of money. One of the things I'm fond of teaching is what I call realities of money. And there are 7 of them. And one of them says that money is finite. In other words, money reduces as you spend it. If you have an amount of money, say 1,000 shillings, and you took away 10 shillings, that means you have spent 10 shillings. You took 10 shillings to buy whatever it is that you bought. The remaining amount is no longer 1,000 shillings. Whether you want to call it 1,000 or not, it has refused to be called 1,000. The remaining amount will not be 1,000, even if you remembered the mathematics that you learned in school, that one of rounding it off to the nearest. Try rounding off 990 to the nearest 1,000. When it becomes 1,000, please call a press conference. I'll be glad to attend and witness, because money comes down as you spend it. And the reason I came up with this reality was after observing how some of us behave when we receive money. Some of us, when we get money, we grow wings. We want to spend as though there is a reward for the fastest spender. We want to spend as though there is an incentive for spending. We want to spend as if we are being paid to spend. Unfortunately, 2-3 days down the line, we have lost that power. We don't have the money. We are wondering where the money went. And I'm not talking about spending it while investing. I'm talking about spending it on expenditure, on consumer items. So talk to your children about this nature of money. As basic as it sounds, that every time you have a certain amount of money, it reduces as you spend it. And therefore, as I remind you about this quality of money, I have to remind you that if you agree with me that money reduces as you spend it, then accept this invitation from me that next time you receive your money, be careful how you spend it so that you only spend it on things that leave you with value, things that add value to you. Because if you spend and it goes, then it is better that it goes and leaves you with value and not regrets. Because there are times we spend money and we start regretting immediately. So to do away with these regrets, then plan in advance so that you spend the money on things that are going to leave you with value, without regrets. Talk to your children about it. Tell them that this is a quality of money you must always remember. Number 6, and the last tip for today, please involve them in decisions which directly affect them. Again, this depends with how old they are. As they are growing and you are observing them, they get to an age where you begin to involve them. They have started having their own tastes and preferences. There is a snack that they prefer over another. Now it gets to a point where you will not just go and buy for them something blindly. As they advance in age and they start getting into pre-teenagehood and into teenagehood, there are clothes you will not just buy for them. You can't force them down their throats. You have to sit with them, discuss some things with them, those that affect them. From as early as when they can understand choices using things as basic as snacks. Let them say the snacks they prefer. If you realize there are snacks on their list that you do not approve of, explain to them why you do not approve of them. Maybe they are not very healthy. Of course, many snacks may not be very healthy, but there are those that are extremely, probably unhealthy in your judgment. Let them understand that the reason why you do not approve of this is because you consider it not healthy, or because you consider it expensive compared to the money that you have now. In future, if you plan well and you have more money, you can consider buying for them. Later on, when you want to buy them clothes, engage them. Let them feel that their voice is also recognized, because that begins to teach them leadership. That begins to make them feel valued. That makes them begin to feel understood. That begins to make them step out, be bold enough to know that they can have a stand, they can suggest something, and the world can listen. And that's how we begin to nurture leadership in them. Sometimes you can spend a lot of money on a gift or on buying them something, and in your own judgment, you think now you have bought them a highly valued thing. Shock on you when you get to deliver it and you see how their face changes, because what they value was something different. The kind of cloth they would want is totally different and probably very cheap. Whatever you have used on what you have bought them can actually buy 100 of what they want. Had you engaged them, you would have realized that this is what they prefer. Of course, again, it comes back to your approval. But the point here is that we need then to start learning to engage them in decisions that directly affect them. So I want to believe that this has been an insightful episode. You have heard something that increases or adds into your pot of knowledge on how you can engage your child in financial parenting. Once again, if this is your first time here, please subscribe to this channel. Give us a like. It helps a lot in spreading this message to as many people as possible. Leave a comment on how you feel about this conversation. If there is any area you would want me to focus on, I'll be glad to give you insights on the same. Feel free to share this with your friends so that then we can keep spreading this message. So until we meet again next time, same place, God bless you, because you can do better.